Travolting presents Bobbin for Robin. Hosted by Jeff Sweeney and Stuart Elmore. Covering In Search of Dr. Seuss. Enjoy the episode.
So, like, the joy of this podcast is that sometimes we're covering, like, totemic masterworks. Like, we're covering something like Good Will Hunting or Good Morning Vietnam, Dead Poets Die, like something that's, like, permeated the culture and has existed for 30, 40 years. Mm-hmm. And since we're covering, like, the little things that don't really, like, have much of a, impact. And then sometimes we're just covering some bullshit. Like, some, like, random-ass TV special explaining to children who Dr. Seuss is through a narrative like clip show structure that Robin is inexplicably it makes sense he's in this, but sometimes we're just doing a thing like this.
Jeff, all I have to say is this film good here or there? Is this film good anywhere? It's got highs and lows. Some suns, some rain. But at the end of watching it, it made me want to shoot my brain.
I watched this film in my house. I did not watch it with a mouse.
T.S. Geisel was a man. But in my view, this movie panned.
What a story, Mark.
I'm discussing this movie with my friend Stuart. Though the movie was rather inert.
What? No. Come on. The moment you said my name, I knew this man fucked up.
No, inert. It kind of rhymed, right? I thought that rhyme was rather tight. I did not say anything wrong at all. Though in your view, my words did fall.
I'm just surprised you had the gall to take away this fun and not have a ball.
Enough of this. Okay. It was fun. I cannot sustain this.
This is not something we could do.
We cannot sustain this.
For 30 minutes. We are 3 minutes into this podcast. Yes. Welcome back to Bobbin for Robin. Thank you for listening to our episode last week on being human.
Yes.
With Morgan
to be
Garrity.
Or not to be
A human being. Thank you all for joining us this week for In Search of Dr. Seuss. Mm-hmm. You don't have to search very far.
Yeah, they're pretty straightforward.
Pretty straightforward. Dr. Seuss is pretty much everywhere. Or at least he was. Jeff, what's your relationship with Dr. Seuss?
I read a lot of my favorite book when I was a kid was There's a Walk-It in My Pocket.
There's a Walk-It.
Walk-It in My Pocket was my shit. I had read that book so much and then eventually dropped it in the toilet and they had to buy me a new copy. I went through that thing. That book was huge for me.
Yeah. It's just
But I'd say I had a very Dr. Seuss heavy childhood. He's not like...
Sorry.
I would not... What is this?
Stay with me.
Okay. Oh, yes. I know what this is. I know what this is, yes. It's the Walk in My Pocket rap.
Yeah, the Walk in My Pocket rap.
The thing is, like, I would like Dr. Seuss wasn't like my guy. It's not like he's my number one, like with a bullet. Mm-hmm. But I would say I had a pretty Dr. Seuss heavy childhood. Like I read Walk in My Pocket. I had, Cat in the Hat and all those things. Went to go see How the Grinch Stole Christmas with Jim Carrey when I was very young. Was scarred by Cat in the Hat with Mike Myers. Watched the original animated specials. Went to Universal Studios Islands of Adventure where there was the Dr. Seuss land, which I think is still there.
Interesting.
but I'm not sure. But I think it's still there.
Yeah.
But Dr. Seuss has been kind of just present. And I think he's still like reasonably present, right? Like kids still read this stuff.
Yeah, well, I asked that question. So like for me, Dr. Seuss was very involved in my childhood. My parents read a lot of Dr. Seuss books to me when I was a kid. Popular ones, Green Eggs and Ham, classic, Horton Hears a Who. I also watched, have you seen Dr. Seuss on the Loose? Which is like a animated special comprising of 3 Dr. Seuss stories.
No, I've
animated. I watched that. They came out in like the 80s, but I remember watching that as a kid. I think that was something my parents or grandparents had on VHS or something like that. So like I had seen a few of like, you know, the Sneetches on the Beaches and Snitches Get Stitches and very important rule in the Dr. Seuss lore. But no, and yeah, Green Eggs and Ham.
Oh, Green Eggs and Ham goes crazy.
It goes fucking. I rewatched the Dr. Seuss on the Loose special, and holy shit! I mean that because they add like a choral musical component to it as well.
Yeah,
that I don't think was initially thought of. I mean, all of Dr. Seuss's books are inherently musical.
Yeah, I mean, you could sing any of them because they're rhymes.
Yeah,
and this special itself in Search of Dr. Seuss like takes advantage of that.
Yeah,
on a few instances.
Yeah. But you know, I think it for our audience, like I think almost everybody listening to this has heard of, if not grown up with Dr. Seuss in some way, shape, or form. But the reason why I brought it up in that way that I did is like I don't feel like there's as much of a childhood emphasis on Dr. Seuss in terms of literacy.
Yeah.
You remember like Dr. Seuss and our childhoods was all about like when we would read Dr. Seuss when we were beginning to read. Like it was sort of the early stages of literacy. And I just feel like that sentiment of when you're first reading to your child, you pick up a Dr. Seuss book. What am I hearing?
I think it's just like something on the air conditioner.
Oh.
Like a bird or something.
Oh, okay. I'm hearing a clickety clack on the stack. It will come in through the window and I'm sorry.
This is bad.
I'm so.
Keep going.
We're all on like 4 hours of sleep right now.
Keep it going. Keep it going.
The rhyme? No. But I'll keep my thread going. I don't know. I guess I'm pretty much done with that. Like, do you agree with that? Like,
I think
it seems like that's not as implemented in our society as it once was about like Dr. Seuss being pivotal to your early literacy.
I think that there's like it's a mix of two things. I think like Dr. Seuss is still relevant. I'm sure. Like I think a lot of children still like are familiar with his characters and his stories. But I also think like part of it comes from around 2020 when there was like kind of a cultural reckoning with a lot of like racial stereotypes and whatnot in media.
I completely forgot about this.
Like
Dr. Seuss got canceled.
Conservatives tried to turn it into the woke mob is trying to cancel Dr. Seuss.
Yeah,
which was not what it was. It was like Dr. Seuss wrote a lot of stories that are about discrimination and about racism, and you know he was a New Deal Democrat, which also means that like yes, he believed in a lot of social causes, but he was also a product of his time, and even if he supported these causes, like in like humor and media, he would still just say things that just aren't acceptable today.
Yeah,
like there was a line in I think I saw it on Mulberry Street that was I have the word, I have the sentence here. I'm trying to find it. Like he describes a group of Chinese like workers as helpers who all wear their eyes at a slant, which is like it just doesn't fly today.
Right. Yeah. Well, and
I think that it's good to like remove that stuff from these stories.
Yeah, because like again, going back to what we initially were talking about, being that Dr. Seuss being very pivotal to a lot of kids' early understanding of learning how to read.
Yeah,
and I think like the idea of taking a few of his many stories off the shelves for that. It isn't like
get some out of circulation that just have outdated ways of talking about other cultures. And
it's
people.
Also like people should know that like early on in World War II, like Dr. Seuss was in favor of Japanese internment camps.
He was.
That this is just a fact that he later changed his mind on it, but early on, like he's quoted in saying that he was in favor of that.
That's why, like, when people talk about Dr. Seuss, and this movie very specifically, this movie is so much more about Nazis than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah,
which is this is like 40% about Nazis, which is very strange.
It is very strange.
But I think like the like Dr. Seuss thing is he's a New Deal Democrat, which is the best way to describe him because New Deal Democrats ushered in the social safety net and completely changed like the culture of the U.S. at the same time that they were in favor of Japanese internment camps, used inappropriate humor about other cultures, and were frequently cheating on their wives. And it's like that's just kind of the perfect way to describe him. Is that's the culture that he comes up from.
Yeah.
Because all three of those things represent him in the same way that all of his stories do.
Yeah, yeah. And there's a lot of things that like you can look at in Dr. Seuss' political beliefs that I think even like to this day could be seen as very, I don't know what word I'm trying to say, but like, I don't know, admirable is the way, like, because he did write a lot of books on like social justice and racial stereotypes and things like that. I mean, literally Sneetches on the Beaches is about like people getting assigned stars to prove that they're better.
Yes.
And then the reverse trend of that. While all in the background, there's somebody profiting off of this whole scheme that's being run. I mean, and that's a children's book. And so that's where, it's funny to think of conservatives viewing Dr. Seuss of being canceled when like, I feel like a large majority of Dr. Seuss's books.
It was 6 books that got pulled off the shelves.
Out of like, over 100 short stories that he's written. But majority of his books being mostly about like socially liberal standpoints. This is all very interesting conversations we're having about it. It almost feels as though that there could have been like a movie talking about these kind of subjects.
Yeah. No, this movie is for kids. Like, I get that it's not going to go into that. And
that's true.
It's also from the 90s when, people were saying, we did it, guys. We defeated racism.
Yes.
It's kind of, which is like, so I think like the movie's just not interested in getting into anything thorny about Dr. Seuss. It is much more interested in just being like a celebration, a hagiographic, like, here is why Dr. Seuss is a great man, and here are the things he did for us.
Well, because Theodore Seuss Geisel, that being his real name, died 3 years before the special was released. So this is very clearly like
a
memorial film for Dr. Seuss. And so, of course, they're not going to like, the body's still warm, start, critiquing, his...
The body is still warm.
You brought up the Jim Carrey, How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Yes, I did.
And I think that is such a good, because I think out of all of Dr. Seuss's like intellectual property, things like that stuff he's created. I mean, we have like the Lorax animation, we have Horton Hears a Who, and the newer Cat in the Hat stuff. What, did she throw up? Oh, her ear's bleeding? Oh.
This has been your weekly check-in with the cats.
Yeah. It's hairball season.
Yeah, I imagine.
Yeah. Oh man, she's bleeding. Did you pick at the scab, or she pick at the scab, or she picked it? Fiona. Anyway, cat corner. So,
cat corner.
Yeah, he 3 years before this had passed away, and something that this brings up interesting subject that I wanted to bring up to you, because I don't know, maybe you might know more than me, is like who is the estate holder for Dr. Seuss?
Well, he didn't have any kids.
Exactly.
So I think it just went to like the Zeus company.
Okay.
I don't know what the Seuss company is, but like who runs it.
Well,
but
because like isn't like most of copyright laws like 70 years after the death of the artist or something like that, the initial author.
Yeah.
So in that case in point, like that Dr. Seuss died in 91, that would mean in theory, all of his works would go up. Or is it actually the lifespan of the artist or the date of the publication?
I think it's the date of the publication. It's the fucking Mickey Mouse thing.
That's the thing, right?
Mickey Mouse
like,
went in public domain like what 3 years ago, or Steamboat Willie did, and I think Steamboat Willie's animated in like 28, 29 maybe.
Yeah,
it's probably like 95 years or something. We are a good distance away from Dr. Seuss going public domain.
We are okay. Yeah, because most of his like popular stuff didn't come out till like the 50s and 60s. Yeah. These are all interesting things that are great to talk about because honestly, Jeff, I don't have a fucking thing to say about In Search of Dr. Seuss. This premiered on TNT.
Yes. Dynamite. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, the Turner Network Television or whatever the hell it stands for.
Turner Network Television. Right.
Premiered on Turner TNT November 6, 1994. It was released on VHS prior to that.
Yes.
This is where I think like why you can find it for free on YouTube, which is how most of us I think watch this.
Did you watch this before? Oh, you meant us, you and me.
Yeah, you and me watched this for free on YouTube. There is a full version of this on YouTube with Spanish subtitles baked in. So I'm guessing this was lifted off of a. My God, what
someone mowing?
That doesn't sound like
sounds
a
like a
leaf
whacker.
blower or weed whacker or something like that. Anyway, and so it's just like ruining my train of thought. I wanted to fucking shoot. Sorry.
No.
Anyway, we're also sleep deprived.
We've said this.
This is like the best essence for us to talk about this movie.
Okay. I can give you the context for this movie very quick. Would you like me to do that?
Do it.
Okay.
Go.
So this movie's directed by Vincent Patterson, who is a choreographer. First and foremost, he did music videos for Michael Jackson and Madonna. Choreographed all of Madonna's dances in Evita. And then is later going to work with Robin when he choreographs The Birdcage, which I presume is kind of in production concurrently with this, which is probably why he gets, why Robin winds up in this. This thing ends up getting 7 Emmy Award nominations, which is pretty cool. Like, this is like kind of a high budget, like celebration of Dr. Seuss, supported by the Seuss estate and the Seuss company, which might also like kind of papers over some stuff that, kids maybe just don't need to know about.
Yeah.
But the movie itself is kind of it's about a woman named Kathy Lane, played by Kathy Najimy, who is an American actress. She's been worked a lot of stage and screen. Most people probably know her as the third one in Hocus Pocus, which is
I was gonna
kind
say.
of disrespectful. But at the same time, like that's what most people probably know her from.
Yeah.
The one who is not Sarah Jessica Parker or Bette Midler.
Yeah.
But it's about her, and she's a reporter, and she's going to Dr. Seuss's house to be like, hey, let me learn about Dr. Seuss.
What's his deal?
What's his deal? Like, what's the rub of this guy? What's the cut of his jib?
Right.
And instead of Dr. Seuss, she finds the Cat in the Hat, played enthusiastically by Matt Frewer.
Do you think they tried to get Jim Carrey and he said no?
I don't think Jim Carrey. This is the year Jim Carrey arrives.
Well, I'm watching this and like I can't help but feel like he's giving like a Jim Carrey adjacent performance. I don't know. Is that just me? Like,
I think it would be the other way around. Like Jim Carrey is like only becoming successful the year after this movie in a real like he's only becoming Jim Carrey.
Okay, maybe Jim Carrey is he is taking the essence of Matt Frewer's performance of Cat in the Hat.
Yeah, he watched this and he said, "Damn, that's how I do it."
That's how I do it.
But she finds the Cat in the Hat there.
Yeah, who is a man wearing a mustache and a furry coat
in a tuxedo that eventually turns into a furry coat with a fake mustache and the titular hat.
Yeah.
And he's like, "No Dr. Seuss here." It's more of a goofy, I guess. But
you said Mike Myers' Cat in the Hat brought you nightmares.
Yes.
Describe.
Stuart. You've seen this movie, right?
Yes, I've seen this movie.
Like, what do you get out of it? What do you get out of this image? What do you get out of this image?
You're stupid. Now wait just a minute. And you're ugly, just like your mum. Did you just call my mother ugly? Shut up. I mean it. I will end you.
Do you remember Alec Baldwin in that movie?
Alec Baldwin is in that movie.
Alec Baldwin has like a substantial role in that movie.
Yeah.
Anyway. But she like meets the Cat in the Hat, and he's like, "No Dr. Seuss here, just me." And she's like, "Well, tell me, what is Dr. Seuss's deal? What's the cut of his jib?" And he's like, "Well, read these books, or read this magic book here." And she opens the book up, and she gets sucked into the world of Dr. Seuss. She's like, "Whoa!" Kathy and Jimmy flying through the air. And she's like, "Ah!"
She's what wakes up in a realm of nightmares and pain.
I mean, in theory, if I were sucked into the world of Dr. Seuss, it would be a nightmare realm. That would be my interpretation of it.
Anybody who's afraid of like furry humanoid things, like you would have a panic attack in this world. Because it's full of that shit.
And you're like, okay, so we're going into the world of Dr. Seuss. And clearly what this is going to start off with is like, oh, we're going to read one of his fun stories. And like, that's fun. And it goes right into it.
Yeah.
It's like, it's the Sneetches.
It starts off with snitches get stitches. I mean, Sneetches at the beaches.
Sneetches at the beaches. And he's like, yep, this was about, Dr. Seuss during World War I feeling like he was a target. And you're like, wait, we're okay. So this is like.
Yeah, it's taking all of his stories and relating it to his upbringing.
It's relating it to his life and more specifically like the political like calculus of his life.
Yeah.
Which I actually think is like an interesting approach.
I do too.
I think this is like a really good, if you're like teaching a Dr. Seuss course.
Yeah.
Like to children. Mm-hmm. I think this is a really good way to kind of introduce the idea to kids about like morals in storytelling.
Yeah.
This is a good movie that kind of goes through each of the stories and what they are actually representing historically.
Yeah.
So I have to like give it a decent bit of credit. Like, I'm not saying this is the most exciting thing I ever watched, but
right.
I do think that's actually an interesting approach.
Yeah. But we start with Sneetches at the beaches, and this is they pull from the animation from the Dr. Seuss on the Loose short film. Because you'll notice that because you notice some of these stories were animated and some of them were like live action reenacted, like Hunches and the Bunches.
Well, perfect example is that Sneetches on the Beaches is animated.
Yeah.
And then she comes out and she finds the Hunch, played by Christopher Lloyd, just in a suit, in a costume.
Yeah.
He's like, "It's me, the Hunch. How are you? Marty."
Very good.
"Marty, you got to come back with me. Back to the future." Get it?
Very good.
Marty.
We get McElligot's pool, and then Horton hatches the egg, which is from a Marie Melody's cartoon from 1942.
It does like kind of get away with just using some like old cartoons for some of this.
Well, like I'm guessing like a lot of this is mainly pushed by the Dr. Seuss estate.
But when we get to the Grinch one, they're like, oh, just like play the old Grinch movie again. We can get 10 minutes out of this thing for free.
Yeah.
They already did it.
Yeah, exactly.
Got played Boris Karloff's estate to use some of his lines.
Yeah.
Watch Horton hatches an egg.
And then to think that I saw it on Mulberry Street, which was Puppet Tune.
Well, that happens after they meet the ad man. Remember?
Right.
Because they talk about his history. He did advertisements for Standard Oil.
Yes.
And they walk into the single most exciting sequence of the movie, where she is in a like advertising copy room, and David Paymer in a like crazy outfit. It's just like, you know what she did? You know what he did? Advertisements for Standard Oil, and we're gonna talk about it for 5 minutes, and I got you hostage, Kathy Najimy. And she's like, no! She's trying to go.
Yeah.
But you learn all about advertising, and then David Paymer's like, you want to learn more? And she's like, please! But she steps out and gets the original like manuscript from Mulberry Street from Patrick Stewart. Wait, no, this is right after. Sorry.
Right.
She walks out. She's like, oh, look, I'm on Mulberry Street. And she finds a little child named Marco. Who's just sitting on a bench, and she's like, "What's up?" He's like, "My dad sucks," and says, "I have too much imagination." She's like, "Well, that's a good thing." And then she's like, "Well, what did you see walking home?" He's like, "Oh, it's just a trolley." He's like, "But what if the trolley pulled by a zebra?" There's a charioteer. No, it's an elephant. And there's a Raja, and there's a parade, and just like kind of escalating the story, as in Mulberry Street. Mm-hmm. And then she's like, go tell your dad about that. And what are you going to tell him when he asks you for the truth? Tell him that I just saw a single carriage. The kid runs off, and then Patrick Stewart shows up as the cop from Mulberry Street. He's like, it is me, Patrick Stewart.
The colonel. Or whatever.
Engage. And he's like, yes, here's the original manuscript from Mulberry Street. Enter this doorway over here.
Sergeant Mulvaney.
Sergeant Mulvaney. And he's like, he walked through the door 29 times and they canceled him, every one of them. They did not accept his manuscript. He's like, cool. But she eventually winds up with the Cat in the Hat again. And then like they wind up in like a dark hallway and there's just a picture of Adolf Hitler on the, I'm so dead serious.
Yes. Yeah.
There's a picture of Adolf Hitler on the wall.
And swastikas.
And you hear like in the distance. And the Cat in the Hat, notorious like guy was just like, yeah, you know, he did a lot of anti-fascist advertisement. I'm going to show all of them to you right now. I just walk through the look at like his darker political cartoons.
However free of the Nazi party they may seem, they cannot come back into the civilized world just by sticking their hand out and saying, we're sorry.
Yeah. No, Stuart, I want to talk about that real quick. Because she shows him all of his political cartoons, and then he's like, the Cat in the Hat for some reason is the one doing this scene.
Yeah.
He's like, and you know, after the war, he made a short subject documentary and he won an Oscar for it. Here it is. We're going to watch it. And the screen just like flashes, Hitler lives. Can you imagine like it's 1946 and you go to the movies and you're like, oh, we sure beat those Nazis. And you sit down in the theater. Hitler lives behind the screen. You're like, he does? Like, oh my God.
What the fuck?
I thought we got him.
Dr. Seuss knew all along about the Argentina conspiracy.
He's like, oh my God. No. But it's not about Hitler himself literally living. It's about his ideology persisting. And I will say this reads a little like unfortunately relevant. Like
watching this today.
It's like Hitler may have been defeated, but the Nazis returned into Germany, and even in our society in the U.S., the strokes of fascism are pushed every day.
Yeah, that is a line that is said in this documentary. And I too was like gripping my armchair, like fuck.
This is too relevant. This is too relevant. Too relevant. The one thing
we're recording this on the 4th of July.
You know what the best like
couldn't find anything better to do.
You know what the best political cartoon that he shows is?
What is the best?
Is the one where the Cat in the Hat's just like, you know, Dr. Seuss was really sticking it. The Republicans and the GOP said that they didn't want to intervene in World War II. And he points at a thing that's like a bird like missing the mark, and it says GOP on the side of it.
Yes.
I'm like, yeah, stick it to him.
Yes.
Theodore Geisel.
Yeah. Good stuff.
But they leave the Hitler hallway.
A real thing.
And then you just start hearing like, hey, it's me. Hey, I'm over here. Keep looking for me. Hey, I'm over here. And you're like, what is this? And she like finds like,
is this the radio?
The radio,
yeah.
The Voice of America, and it's just Billy Crystal's voice coming out of this little inanimate clock.
Yeah,
or not clock, radio.
Yeah,
and he's just like, yeah, you know, Guillermo the Turtle. Originally, you know what he looked like? Hitler. Crazy, right? And you're like, oh.
Yertle the Turtle. Jeff, who's Yertle the Turtle?
I could tell you all about it. So, like, Yertle the Turtle is my enemy. He's a real like jamoke. And like we watch a gospel rendition of Yertle the Turtle.
Yes.
Which is the story about essentially a fascist leader of a turtle colony on the island of Solomon's who decides, my kingdom is not big enough. You shall all stand on each other, and I shall set a throne on top of you so I can see farther and thereby have a larger kingdom. And so that happens, and Yertle is at the top of the heap.
Keep going.
Yertle's the king of the ashes or whatever. And then at the very bottom, a girl burps. And the entire thing collapses and Yertle becomes king of the mud instead of king of the pond. How the mighty have fallen. You'd like to see some guys become king of the mud, right?
Anywho,
That plain little. He burped. He's king of the mud.
I think that song kind of goes crazy.
the song absolutely
I think it's
goes
actually
crazy.
the best, maybe the best part of the movie is because the song just kind of goes crazy.
And you forgot to mention, like, all of the gospel singers are
good.
all dressed up
As turtles.
as turtles
Yes.
with like weird little, like they kind of look like Oompa Loompas.
A little bit. No, well, the thing is, you're like, oh, they look a little like Oompa Loompa. And then you get to then you get to Green Eggs and Ham song, and you're like, no, these guys look like Oompa Loompa.
These guys are Oompa
But
Loompas.
we watch Yertle the Turtle get his shit rocked in beautiful gospel performance.
Yes.
And then like Kathy Najimy just walks in and she's like, wow, didn't know that. Hitler.
Crazy.
And she runs into the Cat in the Hat again, who just like keeps disappearing and reappearing at his own will.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, let me tell you my story now. Tell you about how I got written.
And he talks about how like Cat in the Hat was essentially, as Dr. Seuss is progressing in his stories, he's starting to figure out, well, the things that matter to him the most is literacy. And that's where the Cat in the Hat becomes sort of his gateway book into teaching kids how to read. And what better way than to demonstrate that than to cut to a father reading to his kids?
Yeah. Played by Robin.
In the hat.
Of course, you knew I was going to have the clip pulled up.
I should have known.
The sun did not shine. It was too wet to play. So we sat in the house all that cold, cold, wet day. I sat there with Sally. We sat there, we two, and I said,
How I wish we had something to do.
It's Robin Williams reading to two young little girls, one of which is his own daughter, Zelda Williams, and the other is Chris Columbus's daughter.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah. Who, I'm trying to think, what's her name? And Eleanor Columbus. Yeah.
There's like,
Okay, very weird. If you're on the Wikipedia and you hover over Eleanor Columbus, and you know how it pops up a tiny little thumbnail of a small summary, you know the image that pops up with Eleanor Columbus?
it's Daniel Radcliffe.
Daniel Radcliffe, because like this is a list of Harry Potter cast
You click
members.
on it, brings you a list of Harry Potter cast members.
Yeah.
Very weird hyperlink.
Very weird hyperlink. But yes, it's Robin Williams reading The Cat in the Hat in almost its entirety to Zelda Williams and Eleanor Columbus. And yeah, he's just doing a Robin Williams bit. Just reading them the book.
No, he's just reading them the book and he's doing his voices for all the characters.
Yeah.
It's very charming. He probably shot in like 4 hours.
Yeah.
And it seems like, Robin, we talked about a lot through the course of this show. Like, in addition to just, being kind of a kind person who people like to work with, he had like genuine interest in charity work and like just specifically with children. He liked working with children, and he, I'm sure they told him like, oh, this section's about literacy, and we just like you to come and read Cat in the Hat for some kids.
Yeah.
They'll be put about your daughter and
Chris Columbus's daughter. 'Cause they're probably shooting Mrs. Doubtfire around the
or
same
9
time.
months.
Or,
One of them.
or 9 months. Yeah. One of the two.
And so like I'm sure he just comes in and has a good time doing it for a few hours.
Oh.
He like tickles Zelda at one point. It's very cute.
Yeah. No, it's a very charming.
It's a very
clip.
charming little thing. I'm sure he just gets connected with the director off of choreography from The Birdcage.
Yeah.
And I just found that really charming. It was a nice little thing.
Was this like water in the desert from like the last few weeks of our project we've been working on? I've not
Yes.
seen Robin Williams.
Yeah, I haven't seen Robin Williams in a little bit.
And it's such a good thing to like To see Robin for the first time in like a few weeks.
He's just kind of reading.
He's just reading.
Listener home, Sue and I are working on something, so we had to bank up the last like batch of episodes you listened to like a month and a half ago, and now we're recording for the first time. So it's nice to see Robin again.
It's nice to see you again.
Yeah, it's nice to see you. I've seen you plenty.
Yeah. We literally said prior we are working on a project together.
Yes.
We see each other every fucking day.
But that's really the extent of Robin's section. Is it's pretty short. He just plays the father of the two kids.
Yeah.
And reads them The Cat in the Hat.
And that's pretty much it.
And then Kathy's like, wow, Robin Williams. Who'd have thought?
Who'd have thought? Crazy.
And then she's like, she somehow winds up in Green Eggs and Ham.
Yeah.
Which is like another musical number where all the various Sam bands.
Would you like them with a mouse? Not in a house. Not with a mouse. I would not eat them here or there. I would not eat them anywhere. I would not eat green eggs and ham. I do not like them, Sam. I am.
It's like Kathy's being like, I would like a musical number too.
Okay, but I just have an issue with this though, because the original Green Eggs and Ham cartoon from the Dr. Seuss and the Loose animation is like iconic, guys. I mean, like, you mean to tell me like I'm going to blow up the next door building. Sorry. No, not a fun thing to joke about.
Yeah. So like,
would you eat them with a fox?
I mean,
no, not in a box, not with a fox. I do so like green eggs and ham. Thank you, Sam I am.
Gosh, I mean, like, so fucking iconic, man. I would just, like, I don't want to take it away from Kathy and Jimmy's, like, musical number. It was good. It was fine. But not to use the fucking original cartoon.
I get it.
Come on.
They use the original cartoon for the two that matter coming up.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Because the next thing is she winds up in Whoville. And she's just like, and she finds a random Who, and she's like, where am I? Who are you? And she's like, who I am, exactly. This is Whoville. And Kathy and Jimmy goes, oh, the place the Grinch terrorized? And then it just cuts into the Grinch cartoon. We watch the Grinch cartoon for like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And then she comes out and she's like, wow, the Grinch. And then she like walks away from Whoville and somehow winds up at the street of the lifted Lorax.
Yeah.
Where there's like the house and there's I forget what the bad guy and like the Onceler, that's his name. The Onceler is like up in his little thing. He's like, oh yes, this was once a beautiful place, this wasteland.
My Arrakis.
My desert. My Arrakis. My dune. The desert takes the wake. That's my Stellan. I could do my Fade Rotha if you want to hear that.
I don't want to.
I would drown you in that tub.
That's okay.
Not when he sounds like Elvis at the beginning, though.
Stop.
A little bit.
Enough.
So,
isn't the whole bit with Dr. Seuss is that all creatures in his like universe are Who's?
I don't fucking know.
No, but like, isn't that sort of the thing?
No, the
it's
Who's
like
live
Pixar...
on a snowflake. The Who's live on a snowflake.
Yeah, but what Horton here's a Who?
Yeah, because
they're
really fucking tiny.
That's what I'm saying, bro. That's what I'm saying. The Wicked of the East, the Wicked Witch of the East, bro. Like, no, the whole thing of like Horton here's a Who. They're on a little speck of dust.
They're tiny.
So that implies that Who's live on...
the Who's are tiny things and live on small things.
They live on small things.
Yes.
But that could be mean said.
They're Who's
like
all over the place.
Sneeches.
They're not Who's.
Could they be Who's?
Sure. No, they're not. They're not Who's.
Hunches are hunches?
No, they're hunches. Hunches are hunches and Who's are Who's.
What about... I'm just saying, I think you could make
it wouldn't be called a hunch if it was a Who.
No, I get it. I'm just saying, I think there is like a little Pixar theory going on around here.
Pixar theory is for dumb babies.
Shut the fuck up.
I'm sick of Pixar theory. I'm sick of Pixar theory.
The fact that they humor the theory
I'm sick of
means
Pixar
there's some credence to it, all right?
I'm sick of Pixar theory.
Because you don't like it.
I'm sick of Pixar theory.
I heard you.
Onceler. We're in the Lorax's thing, and we just straight up watched the Lorax cartoon. Immediately after watching the Grinch cartoon, it's like they ran out of money at this point in the project.
Yeah. Well, the Lorax who wants to stop all the trees from being cut down.
Yeah, the
Lorax. you failed.
Yeah, Lorax, unfortunately, has been sent to Guantanamo Bay.
Oh, God. Oh, man.
But the one sir, does the little thing. They plant a new truffula tree. And then they hear, like, marching music. And then they just, like... I'm trying to think. Is it just the cat in the hat telling her the story of the butter battle book?
Yeah.
Because, like, we watch cartoon clips.
Yeah.
But it's just like the cat in the hat just being like, yep, so they were fighting over putting butter on the wrong side of the toast. And you're like, okay. It's actually, like, a fun parable about, like, the arms race.
Yeah.
Except about, like, these two bird creatures just building... till somebody builds a bigger bomb.
Yeah.
And then weirdly, Benny Safdie is there, and he just is like, so somebody builds a bigger bomb. Robert, it must be a fusion reaction. Yeah. But then we finally...
Oppenheimer.
Yeah, Wappenheimer, all right, folks?
Good movie.
That was the Burger King tie-in, was the Wappenheimer.
Mm-hmm.
But finally, they wind up where they start. Oh, this song's good. This track goes so crazy.
You were saying.
They wind up back at the library, and this is actually a good track where they're faced with the enormity of Dr. Seuss's entire lexicon before them, all of his books, all of his stories, and how at the end of his life he was able to look back and finally write his final opus, "Oh, the Places You'll Go." A book about just the enormity of the human existence. The human experience.
Yeah.
And passing on his, knowledge to the next generation. This goes so crazy. I can't, how lucky are we that we got that movie to come out? Anyway.
Very, very lucky.
We're also lucky that this is coming to an end.
Yeah.
Because I'm just
surprised we were able to squeeze out 40 minutes.
You and I
for
are
this
just
episode.
explaining Dr. Seuss stories now to the audience. But it ends with she's like, I understand Dr. Seuss now. I shall leave now, Mr. Cat in the Hat. And he's like, oh, great. And she leaves. And then it goes in on Dr. Seuss' portrait. And I can't tell if it's someone doing his voice or if it is just a
I'm pretty
recording.
sure it's somebody doing his voice.
Okay, yeah, it's a guy, K.E. Cutter.
Yeah.
Because I was just there's a moment where I was like, this could just be a recording he did at some point.
Yeah.
But he's just like, I hope for the children of the world a peace that they will never lose their sense of wonder and discovery. From there to here, from here to there, funny things are everywhere.
Yeah.
And the movie ends. Doctors, unfortunately, in spite of your best efforts, AI has come along to take away all introspection from children.
What's the...
What are you showing me this, huh? To take away any and all introspection from children, and any creative lusts that they may have. We are just telling them they can go onto a website and type a button and don't have to think about things anymore.
That is what AI is doing.
Yeah, that is the goal of AI. Anyway,
we're recording this on the 4th of July.
We are recording this the 4th of July. Sad day.
I have to keep bringing it up.
Yes. But that's the end of this movie. And,
Yeah. Not a theatrical release. It premiered on TNT as a TV special, and it came out on VHS. And
got uploaded to YouTube.
Yeah, and we found it on Robin Williams' IMDb.
Yep. It was just a little pop-in from him. Still a performance. He's doing stuff.
Yeah, he's doing stuff, and it was, it was nice.
It's this is one of those little things that I would never have watched this.
Right.
If it wasn't for this podcast. It's not like I
wasn't
be missing
seeking it out.
I wouldn't be missing this if I didn't watch it. It's not like
it's like, gosh, there just aren't enough Dr. Seuss documentaries out there.
They're just things like this that whether or not I enjoyed it or got a lot out of it. I did just watch it and I was like, oh, that's kind of nice.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice to have that experience. Anyway, that's basically it, right? Welcome Christmas, come this way.
I'm waiting for the Grinch to bring back all the presents in my life. Sorry. I'm sorry.
Brother, this guy stinks.
Brother, this guy stinks always hits.
does.
Do you have anything else to add about In Search of Dr. Seuss?
No.
I do not either.
I don't have anything to add.
Then let's wrap it up.
Wrap it up, baby. Well, if you like this episode, please remember to rate, review, comment, like, and subscribe on whatever platform you're listening on. As always, you can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Amazon Music, Pandora, iHeart. You can listen to us here or there. You can listen to us everywhere.
Very
you can
good.
listen to us up in the sky. You can listen to us passing by.
Ooh, my man is cooking.
Special thanks to Rebecca Johnson for all
The graphic design.
the graphic design that she works on.
And Michael Van Bodegem Smith.
And Michael Van Bodegem Smith for the theme music that's taking you out. We'll see you next week for 9 months about.
9 months is next week. Hugh Grant rom-com. Tune in. And